Swamp Ginger says. Test.
How's everybody doing today? Let's make sure the microphone's on and working. We want to dial it up just a scooch. Not that much of a scooch. Alright. So, what we're doing today. So, this is going to be our first full attempt at my wife being on camera, apparently. Hi, Bunny. So we kind of tried this a little bit last time, but now we're going to have it structured today. Dial that music back just a scooch. A little bit loud in my ears. Alright. So what we're doing here today is that, we tried it last time, a little bit of fly tying here. And, so what we're going to do is, we're going to make a thing on it, thinking every Sunday, maybe every other Sunday, we're gonna go through, talk about fishing, tie some flies, all that good stuff. And I decided to kind of try to do it by following the local patterns down here. And the reason I say that is I'm actually from Louisiana, and fly fishing down here, it's very different than what you would see and do up north. Up north's a lot of trout, but down here you gotta get a little bit more creative, and we're gonna focus on fresh and brackish water, because that's what I typically fish, and I do some saltwater fly fishing too. But that's a whole nother ball game, whole nother animal. That's not something we're going to strictly worry about. So what we're going to do here is that we are going to focus on my favorite fish to catch during May, and that's going to be the bluegill. And that's why you see the picture of that bluegill in that little corner. So we're going to talk about May bluegills. What flies would I use? And I picked three. Because otherwise we're going to be here all day, and I'm going to run out of fly tying material. So let's go ahead and get set up. What's the first one we want to do? Well, we are going to first talk about a very common one. And that is going to be my second favorite, the hare's ear nymph. Now, the hare's ear nymph is it's fantastic, first of all. Down here, you would use it for sockeye, bass, and bluegill. I just realized I said sockeye. Crappie, both white and black crappie. But today we're focusing on bluegill. So what do we want to do? Well, first and foremost, you have to realize that while a bluegill is a predator, it is an insect predator. That's why its mouth is so tiny. So what are we going to do? Well, while most people tie them on a range between a 10 and an 18 hook, I find a 12 is perfect for bluegills. Just big enough that the smaller guys can't really handle it too much. But it's also just enough, tightening my vise, that the bigger ones will mess with it too. Kind of hard to see that hook. Hey hon, can I see something white? Okay, can I have a white shirt? I didn't realize the hook was going to hide that much, sweetheart. Alright, so while she does that, we're going to get ready to do some, we're going to do a, I just lost my words. Sorry, guys. The hare's ear nip. Like I said, we're going to use a size 12 hook. Buns grabbed me a white shirt, so as I didn't realize how washed out that was going to get. Alright, so first, obviously, hair, we're going to want olive or brown thread. I prefer a brown thread, personally. Oh, thank you.
Do you need anything else?
Hmm?
Do you need anything else?
No, I'm good right now.
I've been better.
Alright.
When you charge my phone Friday.
Say it again?
When you charge my phone Friday.
Okay. Love you. Y'all get to see my man nips. Okay, yeah, see, we can see the hook much better now. Alright. White shirts on this broadcast only. At least till I get a better setup, at least. Alright, so let's do this. Let's rock and roll. Like we said, number 12. Number 12 hook. Now, if you never tied a fly before, right, you can buy simple kits. But, you know, we're going to take our tools here, a little bobbin. And we're going to set her in just like this. Now, unless you have the skills of a seamstress, you're probably realizing, man, that's going to be real hard fitting that thread through. But that's okay, we got tools for that. I'm going to go right here just like this. Boom, boom. Now, I'm in my 30s, and my eyesight's not the best. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coil back that spool, just like this. I'm going to take the end of that. Now you see this thread's a little bit stretchy. Which is fine. Alright, so you pull it through, and you're just going to give her a quick spin. It's going to help it grab that thread right there. And I'm still getting used to where the camera is. That way when I let go, I do this. Unless the bobbin's too tight and it doesn't want to do it. Apparently my bobbin's a little too tight. Boom. Alright. So, you don't have to start with a backer when you do a hare's ear. But as you see, this is a very smooth shank hook, and there's not even a barb on there. While the barb's not going to be related to the tying in any way, that smooth shank, we're going to be laying hair and everything on here. And dubbing. So we kind of want to give that thing a backer. So let's go ahead and give it a backer. I like to start from the... See how smooth that shank is? See what I'm talking about? So we're going to give it a few wraps. And you can let it hang right there. We're going to fold this forward. Now, a lot of higher end vices will have a little thing right here. You can let it hang like that. But I don't have all of that. Why? Because I'm a normal person with a normal job. And when you let go, it does that. So as you see, I'm laying over the end of that thread right there. And I went about halfway. So I'm going to take my little snips right here. And I'm just going to go, boop, just like that. I'm going to tighten up my coil real quick, and boom. Nice and slow. And if you've never tied a fly before, it is perfectly okay to go slow. You know, a lot of people, they can go wop, 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 and get the whole thing done in like 5 minutes. Take your time, though. Now I'm going to bring her back to the front. Wrapping as I go, trying to keep the body of it even. Just like that. Ta-da! Alright. So let's go over to full material list for this guy real quick. So we want olive or brown thread. As we noted, we're going to do the brown thread. And we want guard hairs from we want guard hairs. I don't actually have guard hairs, but we got some things that are going to work just as well, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. A lot of people, they see fly tying and they get a little bit worried about it because it's like, oh man, there's all this stuff that goes into it. Well, we're going to be showing you today how you don't need to worry about all of that. You know, you can use what you got type thing. And at the end of the day, it's all about trying to catch the fish, right? You know, does it really need to be all, you know, expensive? And the short answer is no. Now, you can spend quite a bit of money on, you know, on materials and all of that. But just know that it's not always necessary, you know? Unless you're trophy tying, it's not that big a deal. And I know a lot of people, especially a lot of people up north, they make a big deal of it, right? But you don't have to. Alright? And you know what? If it looks a little off, big deal. As long as it catches the fish, you know what I'm saying? I'm going through and I'm grabbing some dubbing, if y'all are wondering what I'm doing. Grabbing some dubbing here. Here we go. Get my marabou and hare out. Okay. So. So going over everything, I got some rabbit's hair. If you don't have rabbit's hair, you can really use anything fluffy that's got a little bit of stiffness to it. Like this is deer hair right here. You can use that too. I've even seen people do it with marabou. Marabou is a little bit on the fluffier side. That's for a nymph. This isn't going to go 100% well down here, but it's only because our water is dark and murky down here. If you got clear water, you can definitely use the marabou. It'll make it look like it's undulating. But you know, at the end of the day, that tip's going to be up to you on whether or not you want it. See, we got copper wire. The original pattern for the ears hair is gold wire. This works just as well. And last I checked, the fish can't tell that you didn't use gold. This is going to be for the ribbing. Alright, so I got all of that set up right there. And right here, we're going to move this here. And I got some backup thread I'm going to keep with me over here, just in case. Alright? So, while I pull up my pattern card real quick, let's talk about when and why would you use this nymph. See, in Louisiana, our water is murky. Especially right now, you know, everything's getting ready to bloom. Like algae, the lilies are getting ready to flower out and everything. And it can be a little bit of a mess, you know? And so that water's going to be murky and dark. And especially down here, a lot of times it's going to be very still. And that's what you got to be careful about right there. Alright, so where's my card? Alright. So we're just going to set this up here. This also acts as my backup light, which I know is kind of silly. And I don't know what happened. Looks like one of my things opened up. That's okay. Alright. So we want to start with the tail. The smaller ones, it's going to be good to start with the tail. So I'm going to back myself up. I'm going to go about middle of the shank. What? Why is it? Oh, OBS is freaking out. So see the little, not the shank, sorry, the hook. It's kind of hard to see in the vise, but see how I kind of went to the middle of it? And you can go a little bit back like I did. That's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Alright, so like I said, we're going to back it up. And we're going to get some rabbit hairs out. Here's my rabbit hair. As you see, I used some of it already. So I'm going to find me a good tuft section. if you're wondering, you could also use a pheasant to make the tail. Actually, I have some pheasant. Let's use some pheasant. Where's my pheasant? Pheasant tail. Oh, sorry. Pheasant tail. And you don't really need much either. That's the cool part. You don't need a whole lot. See? Oh, here you go. I'm looking over here at my stuff. I keep forgetting the camera's right here in front of me. I'm not used to using a camera. So I'm gonna look at it. I kind of like that pattern starting right there. So I'm just gonna take this guy and we're gonna snipper clear right there. My scissors are a little bit tiny and I have bad Irish hands, so. So I'm just gonna measure it up to the fly right here. And then, it's okay, look, that's a little much. And you see this amount right here looks pretty good. Now this is an emerger. So it's like that state of the insect, like a dame's fly or a mayfly. Mayflies is what we have down here. And it's that state right as they get ready to become adults. They're doing more activity and life on the surface. They're getting ready, right? So their tail tends to sprout first. Alright. So now that we got this, we want to prepare our dubbing. Our dubbing is going to be part of the body. So, what do we want to use here? Oh. If you're looking for an actual measurement, by the way, your tail, you can have it half the length of the body. Alright, so we can use hare's ear dubbing. You could use marabou in a pinch, like we discussed earlier. But if you try to use marabou, I'm letting you know, it's going to use a lot. What the hell is that? I don't know what that was about, but that was weird. Sorry. So let's go ahead and get our dubbing out. We want to get our dubbing out now. Now, you want your color choices for whatever you tie, right? You obviously want your color choices to match the area, because remember, what flies are doing, you're mimicking the smaller sections of your ecosystem. And that's really what fly tying is. You got your, you got dame's flies. Like I said, we get a lot of mayflies out here, so, you can mimic them. Water beetles, all that kind of stuff. That's what that's basically what you're doing. You're trying to closer mimic what you have in the area. Now, I have I technically have 3 colors, but I don't use the third one on this. The third color is a black and tan tuft. Dubbing tuft. Right. But I don't want to use that because with the water murky and loud, they're not going to see it. It'd be a lot harder for them to see it. So what I would choose in May, all through summer, is one of these twos. As you see, I have a dyed chartreuse in black, right? Does it look natural? No, not really, but it's noticeable. It'll help them notice, right? This would be a more natural color I would go with. So if you want something more natural, go with this guy. But for the sake of the camera, we're going to use this guy today so you can see it better. So just like last time, we're going to go through and find a good tuft, right? Now this again is rabbit's tuft, and we're using this because I am out of dubbing. Dubbing is a different material. I say I'm out of dubbing. Let's double check real quick. Oh, hey, look. Oh, nope, those are, that's the hackle feathers that came in today. Marabou. It looks like I got some red dubbing, but that's all I really got. I don't have the regular dub. So yeah, like I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and just use the rabbit tail. Again, because I'm out of dubbing. So, let me remember where the hell I put it. Peacock curl. Pathetic. Marabou. Oh, here it is. It got buried. It got buried, but we got it. Alright. I know I took it out of the pack. It'll be going back in the pack, but took it out of the pack. So you can see, it comes in a strip. This is the rabbit's hair. Comes in a strip. Dubbing usually comes in a pack. It's a loose material. But as previously stated, I'm out. So, it is what it is. I did order some, though. It was supposed to come in this morning, but it got delayed. Okay. So, dubbing is a matting material that you would typically run your hook over, double it, and you would kind of scatter it around. And then there's a little dubbing brush where you brush it. But we're not going to worry about all that, because again, Swampy's out of dubbing. And as soon as my silly self remembers where I put my scissors, you have like a little small trash can or something nearby, or an ashtray in my case. Cut your trim any hairs or stuff you use in there. They'll make your life a lot easier. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a tapered body. So I'm going to flip what I'm holding backwards. And basically, oh yeah, with dubbing, so you would form a noodle, right? Again, we don't really have the noodle option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this over the shank. And I'm going to rough tie it. And all that really means I'm going to let the weight of it kind of like do a thing. And then we're going to kind of like fluff on it. I'm going to pull it all around the shank. Because we're going to try to make a noodle. Now this looks like a hot mess. But it's about to look more like a hot mess as I get ready to try to pretend it's dubbing.
Says, yo, Swampy.
Yo, what's up, Sammy? Mook Mafia in the chat, everybody. Alright. So again, out of dubbing, we can't make a dubbing noodle, so what do? Let the hair be a mess. Because you can trim it. Now, as you see, I trimmed it loose and made it loose because we're going to fluff it out to get the dub effect since we don't have any dubbing right now. Now, this is the optional step coming up right here, right? However, especially fishing in the south, you're definitely going to want this step. So what I'm going to do, so I can release my my thread, is that we are getting ready to lock our thread down. Now, if you're not good at sewing or hand control, don't sweat it. They make UV glue and lights and stuff like that, so you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Now, as you can see, boom, we have our nice fluffiness. But down here, bluegill and warmouth and everything, they kind of swim together down here. Warmouth have like that toothy tongue, and it will tear this guy apart. So, the question most people ask, at least that I talk to anyway, how do you keep them from wrecking your flies that you spend so much time tying? Give it a metal rib. You know, if I can actually, get this thing to where it's not falling apart on me, where it's not falling off on me and everything, we'll be alright. So I'm going to pull it back. And my hands are not coordinated today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I literally did all this yesterday to make sure I could do it on camera. But we'll just do a finger half hitch. I know that makes it block the camera. Sorry about that, everybody. Now this guy is going to look like a mess until we're done, and that's okay. Because to get that dub body is where our, oh, is my vice not tight enough? There we go, that's better. I almost dropped the guy. Alright, so we're going to throw one more in for good measure. I'd rather have used a tool to show y'all how to do it in 2 steps, but, you know, life's a thing. So I'm just going to take her and snip her free, just like that. If you use an inexpensive thread, because the fish in your area tend to have teeth or tooth patches on their tongues like they do down here, not every spool comes with a nick or a little nook to put your thread. You cut one in there and you can tie it up and it stays nice and bound like that. Sammy, how you doing there, bud? Like I said, I saw you in there. We just we're a little occupied. So like I said, traditionally you would use a gold wire. I have copper. The reason I use copper, I'm going to tell you straight up, it's a lot cheaper. And you can usually get them in starter kits too. They usually come with them in starter kits. So you don't have that whole, oh, I gotta, you know, fork out extra money for this specific type of thread. It's usually not necessary, to be honest with you. Let me loosen the tension on this guy. This guy's really tight for some reason. There we go. Much better. Now, copper wire, your metal wires that you would use, copper, lead, gold.
Yagaming says, doing all right. Just relaxing.
Shit, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. You know, your metallic wires are obviously stiff. You don't need to run them through the thing to pull it through. So, alright, so remember that we didn't have dubbing. We want the dubbing effect because that's like the body of it, right? The body of the nymph. So I'm just going to very lightly clean it up so it's fuzzy. I'm not going to go through and trim it. You especially don't want to trim it till it's bald because you're nervous. Don't do that. Especially, you know, again, in our situation where we're out of dubbing. So I'm going to pull, loop right here, right? And you just kind of go around, just like that. Look. You hold your little metallic end right here. Give yourself some room to play with, because this is going to be a loose body tie, right? Because again, you're just trying to get that dubbing there. You're not trying to cinch it down. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, might see this and be like, yo, Swampy, that looks rough. Know that I know, and it's going to be okay. Copper is soft. If your snips are good, and I don't know if mine are good, usually just snip it free. Apparently, my snips are good. You would typically, though, wherever it's locked down, you can spin it and helicopter it free. That's not going to be the case for me today. Alright, so now what do? We want to brush this guy out. So just get in there and just be like, yay. Just kind of play with it a little bit. It's okay to play with it. Yeah. So what if somebody says something? What are they going to do? Make fun of the fish you catch with it? Because again, if we had the proper dubbing, this guy would, you know, it would have a round body. Sorry, I have my chat due to various windows. I have my chat on my phone today. So y'all have to forgive me. I'm going to be going back and forth and checking on it. Alright. So this is where we're going to pull the whole look together. Is that it's all fluffy, and we made it fluffy in the front. And apparently, because I can't see the other side because my camera's in the my magnifying glass was in the way, we have all this extra right here that I didn't see earlier. So we're just going to snip away at that real quick without cutting my feathers. In case y'all are wondering what's right here, this is my magnifying glass so I can see things. But Swampy, without actual dubbing, it looks more like a Parachute Adams. You'd be correct. They're related. In case you were wondering, anybody who does a lot of fly tying will be able to tell you that. Alright, so you can add a wing case. So, again, these are normally brown, by the way. Most people use brown. That's not going to be me today. So, we can add a wing case. Wing cases are fun. So, we're going to... we can fold it up right here. Alright. Now y'all gonna see where all the extra fluff's gonna come from on this guy. Going back to our pheasant tail now. And we're gonna actually want to cut a good bit this time because we're gonna fold it over. So I'm gonna snip right here. I know y'all couldn't see that. I'm working with some small material here. So I'm gonna take the ends. Well, I'm gonna get my thread back on board. Hold on. And that's helicoptering it free. Reason I did that was to help it anchor because we're using the rabbit's hair because I'm out of dubbing. For now. Like I said, I ordered some. And then Swampy's gonna remember where he put his brown thread. Take that sticker out of it. That's what's messing him up with the thing. Alright. So now, we're just going to drop it right on there. So what we want to do, what we're going to be doing here, is we're going to anchor our feathers in. And then we're going to fold them over to make the wing case. Let me assure you that it's not as hard as it sounds. We are going to handle that. Alright. Seriously, why are you being... oh, that's why you're being a pain in the butt. Oops. So you'll run into this sometimes where it wraps around itself. That's okay. Just unwrap it. It's no big deal. Don't sweat it. Ba-boom. See how it tried to do that? Just spin the spool. Bring it back around. And now it is in its would be in its proper slot if it wasn't trying to make a fool out of me. And boop, there we go. Alright, so now I got something to bite onto with the copper there, right? I'm going to push back that dubbing head right there. Go through. Let me give it another couple of wraps. And really all we're trying to do with this part right here is we're just trying to suppress it off the head. And that is all we are trying to do. Like I said, once you get 2 or 3 binds in there, you can snip your excess thread free, just like that. Alright. Now we're going to take our little bit of feather. Boop. Just like that. Now I'm going to lay it next to the head right here. Remember where we were tying earlier. I'm going to leave it right there. Ooh, looks like I pulled out some of the fibers. That's okay, just give yourself another loop. Give yourself some room to play. Alright, so now I'm going to loosely... see how it's getting that dubbing look now? So I'm going to bring it back to the body. Now I'm going to fold, not the tail, but that wing case we were just making. I'm going to take it and I'm going to straighten this thing out because it's not straight. Separate them because this is just easier for me, right? Again, I'm in my 30s. I don't have the eyesight of Superman or anything. And I'm just going to lay it over itself, just like that. Now, I'm going to pull. Not super hard. I'm just trying to get some thread my way. Because I'm going to jump it over. Near the head where we just were. And I'm going to do this number. And I'm going to rest it. I'm not going to yank on it and pull. Bring it back over again. Oop, we missed. Did you see that? We missed, guys. Can't be missing like that, can we? Say nope, can't be doing that, Swampy. Now I'm going to pull it back again. And now I'm going to cinch it. And boom, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wing case. By the way, Simmy, if you're still watching, man, let me know how, is it easy to see on the camera? So I can bring it closer. I could probably wipe the lens off a little bit too. There we go. Okay. Now, if you want to tease your dubbing a little bit, like I said, they make a little dubbing brush, right? And so the last part is literally just bringing it smooth, letting it look like, hey, it's getting ready to become an adult because that's what a nymph's like, a subsurface, and that's okay. So when I go to flush my body, especially when it comes to a tail, I'll come right here, give myself some thread, and I want to go around the tail. And the reason I want to go around the tail like this is it'll help secure all of that in place without it getting wonky. So now I got my wing case, I got my dubbing. Right. So now what do I need to do? Well, I need to half hitch it closed. So I'm going to take a big wind because we don't want to mess up our case, right? So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go underneath. And I'm going to run her right here. If I don't miss like I just did, right? Now, I'm going to remember that thing we used, right? Oops, sorry, camera's over here. That thing we used to pull the thread through. The bottom's got a hole in it. So now I'm going to plug it into the head. Because as you see, it's going to help pull fibers back when I go set my knot, right? And bada bing, bada boom. So now what do I need to do? I need to lock it. And I'm going to remember where I put that in a second. Or I'm going to say screw it and I'm going to be like, whip, tug. I'm going to make another one, give myself extra thread. Whip it in my hand. And I will do like 2 or 3 of these guys. Just to really lock that puppy in. And you can't see I'm in the way. See, I'm holding right here. I'm holding the hook up so I don't bend it or snap it. Not that it's hard to snap a hook, but with that vise in there, it's creating a heating temperature point on that hook every time you bend it. Alright, so now that she's done, what do I gotta do? I'm gonna pull back. And that's the last part you should always check when you're fly tying. To make sure your eyelet's still there. Because you can get all kinds of stuff gunked up in that eyelet. And never notice it till you try to fish it. And you're like, oh shit, I can't. So, let's go ahead and snip. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the bluegill killer right there. down here in Louisiana. Alright, now let's see if I can bring this in focus so everybody can see what the hell I'm talking about now. It's a little fuzzy. Let me see if I can adjust the camera settings for you guys. Hold on. Okay. Possibly not, but that's okay. So, there you go. Hares here. And as you see, I got a little split tail. Traditionally, traditionally speaking, they do like it together. But we really don't have Danes flies and stuff out here. But you know what we do have? Mayflies. And they have split tails. So, just something to remember when you're, going to get ready and set up for that. So this is a good universal nymph as well. It's really good for bluegill, like we're talking about today. But it's also good for trout. It's good for bass even. Bass will hit this. As you can imagine, it'd be the smaller bass that would hit this, but yeah, still bass. Like I said, if you had a dubbing brush, you would take it, brush your dubbing. And that's her. That's her right there, Let's see if we can bring the light over real quick. Oh yeah, look, there we go. Yeah, got your wing case. And like we were discussing earlier, we use a lot of chartreuse around here. Because our water is so murky, it helps it to stand out a little bit. But one of the reasons I will always prefer to use it down here is the fact that our water is loud. And if you don't know what that means, that is the surface action of the water. If it's nice and windy out, the water is going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of noise down there. And if you're fly fishing, all of your stuff, you might as well consider it silent. So they need to be able to see it. There we go. Okay, so now that we did our little hare's ear, right? We are going to tie my favorite, my absolute favorite. This next one we do. It does bluegill will hit it. It's really good for bass. But if you want bluegill, you want it smaller, obviously, because their mouths ain't but like that, right? Trying to find my pattern card. I made pattern cards, and I'm obviously failing because I forgot where I put them. All right. Now, because we're talking specifically about bluegill, okay, you don't want a super big hook. While you would do that for bass and everything, this month, May, is going to be about the bluegill. It's post-spawn, So, we're going to use... Let me get my hook box out. We're going to use a 10. And in case you're wondering, I do use barbless hooks. Do I have a straight shank? Do I have a number 10 straight shank? Or am I out of those too? Oh no, I got a straight shank. Hold up. Alright. So first thing is a woolly bugger is a streamer. So it's not a nymph or an emerger and all of that. More importantly, it's going to look more fish-like than the bugs. So as you can see, I got just that bottom part clipped. It's because we're going to be putting a lot of material on here. The woolly bugger is my personal favorite, by the way. If I'm not having luck with many things, the woolly bugger is my go-to. We are going to tie with our olive marabou with a black body. Alright, so first things first, what we gotta do? Load our thread. We're gonna use a black body thread, so we're gonna put up the brown thread. We're gonna load in our black thread. If you're super specific, 70 denier is your target. Actually, you know what? I want y'all to be able to see it, so we're gonna grab... I'm gonna grab a chartreuse thread, because I want y'all to be able to see it. So just like before, pull myself some out. Run my catch. Boom, baby. Just like that. Alright. I made myself flashcards.
Zinvi Lameth says,
Yo!
funny story about that. While I agree you don't want a big hook, I was live bait fishing with a big hook. Hooked a bluegill in the mouth and out through the noggin.
Oof, yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it. A lot of people tend to forget that bluegill are indeed predators. People do tend to forget that. Alright, so let's first talk about our traditional way of setting this up. You would run a bead to the eyelet here. And Zen, how you doing, by the way, buddy? Sorry, I think my brain went right back into let me teach mode. I'm sorry, dude. How you doing today? we ain't about all that. We just chilling today. So yeah, you would want to add a bead up here just to give it a little bit of weight. But what do you do when you don't have a bead? Well, I wasn't going to tie a bead, but I'm going to show you.
Zinvi Lameth says, doing alright. Just woke up.
Oh, hells yeah. Getting that good, chill, relaxing time in that good Sunday right there, man. That's good. You know, I was just talking about how the copper is easy to go through, and now it wants to give me trouble. You see that? It's betraying me, man. Alright, so you don't have a bead, right? Make one. Why not? Who's gonna be able to say anything? Are they gonna look at your fly and be like, yo, that's not a real bead? No. No, they're not. You want a bead on there? Make one real quick. Just stack yourself up a little bit of copper right there. I'm gonna cross thread mine a little bit so I can helicopter it free. And so y'all can see what I mean. You literally pinch. This wire is so small and thin, you can helicopter it free. And you do the, oop. Or unless you just do what I just did there, and almost wreck your fly before you even began. Now let's say you can't. Again, what do? We're just going to snip it. Why? Because there's going to be a whole head here. That puppy's not going to go anywhere. Ba-boom. Take a sip of coffee real quick, everybody. Hold up. Alright. And again, because I want to make sure everybody can see everything easily, we are going to use a chartreuse. Most people would use brown, black, and olive. But as you're going to see, my lighting setup isn't quite there yet. And you see a little bit of lighting coming off the hook. So, like I said, we're going to tighten chartreuse so that everybody can see. Or I can pole vault my tools across the room, apparently. And for those of you who are part of our Discord, by the way, I am chilling in the Discord today. Feel free to stop by and say hello. Alright, so we loaded our bobbin and everything. And just like you would normally do, right? I just realized I bumped the light off. We're going to start our thread body. Again, I start in the back. A lot of the more traditional guys will tell you you start in the front because you're going to lock the bead in. We are going to lock the bead in, but I'm going to lock my thread in first. Why? Because this is a smooth shank hook. Alright, so you see how I got all of that in there now? Yeah, look at that willy bugger. This thing's going to be purty. Okay. Now this guy's gonna weigh a little bit, and I need to level her out. So there we go. So you see how when I tucked it, I pulled it forward like that? That's to keep the thread body exactly where I want it. Okay. Now, let's talk about actually fly fishing in Louisiana now. I know we did the Hares here and talked about the bluegill, but there's some challenges when you're fly fishing in Louisiana. Our water is murky. Alright. They can't see too well. Even the bass down here rely more on their vertical line than they do their eyesight most of the year, because our water is so murky and whatnot. Alright, so what do we do to help it stand out? We're going to add some flashy boo. Now, flashy boo is fantastic because it's reflective, right? Now I'm trying to find my crystal flashy boo. Oh, here it is. Flashy boo comes in crystal thread and flat ribbon. We're going to use crystal thread because, well, it's what I have and I like the way it looks. And you don't need much because you're going to take this. They come in long strands, as you can see. We're going to fold it and we're going to cut it a couple of times. And just to save yourself some sanity, measure out how much you want. I'm just going to cut this length in half first, and then I'm going to cut it again. And boom, boom, boom. And just like that. Now, that is a lot of flashy boo. Am I going to use all of it? No. Am I going to leave all of it on right now so I can see what I'm doing because I'm in my 30s and my eyesight's not great? Yes. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, again, you would typically use a streamer hook. They're longer. They're more like bass hooks in their length, which is fine. But we are tying for bluegill, so we're going to go a little bit smaller than that. Alright, so what y'all just saw, this is a common occurrence that flashy boo is real slick, right? You don't want your body too uneven because it's going to disrupt how it swims. So just back it up. What's it going to hurt? It's going to hurt nobody. Might hurt some fly fishing purist feelings. Let's be honest, are you worried about that? No, you want to catch fish, right? That's what I want to do. So, hold and tug, lock it in, just like that. So, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to run another body around. And then I'm going to pull down. Loose wrap. Catch that thread. Pull down. Now I'm going to run the body again. Boom. Again, this is a lot of flash, right? Do we need that much flash? No. What are we going to do? That. Alright, so remember what I said about tails when we were doing the hairs here? I'm going to run it up like that to help the tail stabilize. Avoid my hook while I'm trying to tie. And I'm going to give that guy a really good backing. Why? That stuff likes to come out. Remember how smooth it was earlier? Boom. Congratulations, gentlemen. Everyone, we just started the woolly bugger. What? Alright. So. Oops. Sorry. Let me get right here. Boom. Our next step is probably my favorite step, and that is marabou. I love marabou. Let me tell you something right now. Simi has seen me fly fish. He can 100% attest I love marabou. Now, we're going to use olive because it's more visual than the black, but I will typically tie them black, personally. Alright, so let me just find my marabou real quick. I bought a whole new pack. It came in this morning. Where's my olive marabou? This is more of a chartreuse. Do I have my traditional olive? My traditional olive is hiding on me, but I know I have it. I was looking at it earlier going, oh look, I have some left. I should use it for the stream. And if y'all, if Zen and Mook are still there, y'all let me know if the music's too loud, by the way. I have different settings running because it's a different kind of show, so y'all let me know. I would appreciate that. While I try to remember where I just saw my olive dubbing. Ah! Not dubbing, marabou. I said dubbing. Hackle, pen thread, Chanel, rabbit's hair, more rabbit's hair, pen feathers. Well, I guess we're about to use the, oh, aha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. So this is our marabou feathering right here, and this guy is about to be our friend. So, when you get natural, this is a dyed marabou, but when you get natural materials, even if they're dyed, kind of look through it because nature has imperfections, right? And it's fine, but you want to see what you can use properly. And we're going to take some pinches off. Oof, sorry. And y'all about to notice a lot of the marabou tying is going to be right in the back. So I got the section that I want. Take a snip, take a snippity snip. You want to hold on to that marabou now. Now, how far do we want the marabou? The answer is technically like 1.5 times longer than the hook. What I like to do down here in Louisiana is I try to make sure it is not much longer than my flashy boat. So about right here looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that there. Then what do we do with the flashy boo? A couple of soft wraps. Put my finger against the wrap right there so that it doesn't slide too far, and pull. Help lock it in place. Now, this is where y'all get to see something interesting that I do. I'm going to trim the bulk of this off when I realize I need my scissors and not my dub pliers. Grab, because you don't want to make too big of a mess everywhere. Ooh. So now I'm going to pull tight and I'm going to start the wrap. Now we don't want to drown the flashy boo. Right? And you want to make sure you got enough in the body to help anchor. Well, we got enough in the body to start to call it anchored. Pull your thread out of the way, clean it up. Unless you're like me and you're trying to work through a camera. Okay. So, again, loose bind. You want to catch it. And now we're going to flush the body a little bit. Hey, Swampy, you have a whole lot of stuff right there. It's all going to be in the way when you do the body. The fluffy streamers, articulated streamers, some patterns and nymphs are going to be like that. So what do? Well, get a little bit creative. This is... When my wife first saw this, she thought it was hilarious. She still thinks it's hilarious, mind you. I have a piece of a plastic straw here, right? I'm just gonna run that puppy right there. Ding, 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 done. Problem solved, right? Okay. Now, there's a lot of thread on here, so the body's not gonna be perfect. But I do want to kind of flush it up a little bit, you know what I mean? Alright. And, lost my words for a second, sorry guys. Alright. So, Woolly Bugger, Chanel. Chanel is great fly tying material. And, I'm forgetting something, hold on one second. Oh, I remember now. We need to tie in our wire. Now, for the record, this is why a lot of people who fly tie will have 2 bobbins. I don't have 2 bobbins, though. But I want my wire to stay there. So what do? Well, I have 2 options. I can run the wire through the bobbin and kind of double it up. But I'm going to be adding Chanel, too. So whatever do I do? And I have no earthly idea what I should do about that. Not at all. And it's definitely not cross-wrap it. So that I don't have to worry about those issues. Well, I drop my spool. Now, look, the copper wrapping on these guys is honestly just add a touch of weight and to protect the body. Which is really good down here in Louisiana. Especially since the hotter it gets, the more gar come out. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't lock down the copper wires, because we're about to do a Chanel wrap on it. Alright. So we're gonna take some Chanel olive. We cut some free. And look, if this is your first time tying a fly, by the way, don't worry about measuring precisely. You will get the hang of that later. And one of my reasons for showing you that is to show you, hey look, see, I didn't measure it. And it's okay, see? Look at that. What? It's perfectly fine, right? Yeah. Now, when I do a Chanel wrap, I try to do it loose like that. And then point it to the bottom, because that's where it's going to go. And I just lock the back end. And now I'm going to cut the front free. Now, if you have drawn the conclusion that Swampy, that's a lot of material in there. Shouldn't this be on a bigger hook? Yes, if it wasn't for a bluegill. I knocked my straw off. No! That's okay. Swampy can manage. Now, what y'all can't see because it's on my side of the hook that I just did there, was I peeled away some of the marabou to expose the thread to help lock it in place. Okay? Alright. So this is where it's going to get tricky. Because despite that this is a streamer, we gotta put in some hackle. Right? So that's where this guy going to get a little tricky. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You can use hackle. See? Brown saddle hackle. Sorry, camera's over here. You can use brown saddle hackle. You can even use marabou. And it has that great undulation look to it. Right? But since I have hackle feathers, we're going to tie it with a hackle. So that it's good and proper. Since I have it. So, again, when working with natural materials, what's the issue? They're not perfect. Now, we're obviously not... Well, okay, maybe not obviously. We're not going to use this side of it right here. Because that's the body. And I'll use it for fluff, but not for hackle. This is the side that you want right there. See, that's kind of like pen feathering. You're going to see what it looks like in just a second. So I'm going to snip that off. By the stem, mind you. Snip it off by the stem. Okay. So now I have a nice little saddle hackle, right? Now what you want to do is you want to tie in the base of it. Or drop it, like I just did. Try not to do that. And I'm going to set and drop, just like we talked about before. I'm going to try to push that back a little bit. Because we want it by the base of the tail, and I kind of messed that up. Bing, bing. Okay, give it a second lock wrap. And pull her back. Okay. So, remember I said I had hackle pliers earlier, in case y'all didn't see them. This is a hackle. This is a hackle plier. And we're going to have some fun with it. So you want to aim for the stem, like I just did. And you're going to kind of not do what I did where it's flat. Let me re-grab it. Or pull it out because I got startled by my phone ringing. Soft drop. Soft drop. Pull and lock, baby. Better have been important. Oh, it's an email. Okay. Not worried about that. Not important. It's important right now is my time with y'all. I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna turn it. And boop. So, anyway. So your goal is that. Right there. See that effect right there where it's all spiky? And while you're trying to not break it like I am. Or have it slip out of the pliers. Because your hackle pliers are cheap. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera. I'm just putting my hackle plier back on. Or we can just have a bad luck day with hackling, apparently. That's okay, though. It's not a big deal. That just means Swampy didn't lock it in all the way. So, welcome to fly fishing, everybody. Yoink. Swampy's back. There we go. Oh no. Let's back up real quick because it's messing up our marabou. So let's just take a moment, take a step back, take a breather. Wonder where my little straw thingy went, because I apparently knocked it off somewhere. Proceed not to find it and cut another one. In case you're wondering, yes, I just have a plastic straw over there. That's a work call.
Stormcrow Gaming says. Cummy and everyone, if you have not hit the follow yet. Swampy needs 12 more follows in 12 days to reach his goal of 500 by or on his anniversary. Help him hit 500 by the deadline.
Switch.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. Work call, no big deal, it happens. Alright, let's get our little stuff back on. Alright. And by the way, hi DNL, how you doing, bud? I see you there. I see you hiding. So like we were saying earlier, you know, you can take a little plastic straw like that, make it like a little hood. So it'll hold back your marabou so that what happened earlier doesn't happen again. Alright. So, getting back on topic now. I said sorry, I had to answer a work call. Swampy does have an actual job after all, so. Alright, so I'm gonna go in behind the marabou, just like this. If the thread would cooperate with me. Give it a 3 wrap. Hold the hackle down. Well, boom, baby. Ta-da. Alright. How you doing, by the way, this morning, DNL? How you doing, bud? Hope you're having a beautiful morning. Beautiful Sunday morning. Alright, so your goal is to grab the stem. And I'm going to hold it down this time. Then I'm going to wonder why my hackle pliers are being a butt. Again, you're going for that spiky, not want to stab the woolly bugger. Of course I try to do the woolly bugger live, and that's when I have all of these issues. There we go. And now, I don't know if anybody has noticed here, but I left a pretty big gap in there. I know my camera's not the best. We're working on that, guys. But I left a pretty good gap in there. And the reason for that is for me to pick my thread up and run it in between it without destroying the fly too much. And this is kind of where it gets a little bit of artsy-fartsy. So as you can see, run it right in between. Get mad at the fish gods for, you know, hackle pliers. Then run through, and you're going to go through it again. And then you're going to go over it. See how I went over the tip of that hackle? Ta-da! Try to get some more light on that guy real quick. Oh, that might be too much light. Just a lot of bit. Hold on 1 second. Well, that doesn't help at all. First of all, let me get my phone back on my microphone, first of all. There we go. Come here. Nope. I hit the camera. Sorry, guys. Let me put my light back up. Give me a moment. We don't actually have a studio light yet, so it's actually just my cell phone. Alright, anyway, so as you can see, you got your nice little spikiness now. Gotta have that pretty woolly bugger. I'm not winning this morning. But that's okay. I'm winning with y'all this morning. Oh, God. There we go. Move my fly card back out now. Okay. Now, from here, you can do a few things with it. You can tie her off, call it done. This is a woolly bugger, all nice and pretty like. Okay? Or you can add some stuff to it. Remember that, like I said earlier, the water in Louisiana is very loud. The wind's blowing. It's making a lot of noise in the water. So, you know, it's loud. So you can fish it just like that, and it'll be great. Or you can add some marabou. Which is what Swampy likes to do. He likes to add some marabou. And all this would really do is give it that undulating look in the water. So what I'm doing right here, by the way, is I'm separating it.
Still think you should add light to your left side or right?
No, I agree. I just trying to keep my phone plugged in because I'm technically on call. I didn't think about that when we were setting up the other when you were helping me set up everything the other day. I'm probably just going to end up ordering a light. Okay, so I stripped the feathering off of that marabou. So now very carefully, I'm going to bring it back.
Stormcrow Gaming says, that would be best.
And just like before, what did we say? Hold in place, tug to lock down. And we're going to go in between the hackling. And by actual light, just so you know, I mean like an inexpensive studio light, not like something full throttle. Because let's be honest, I'm really only on camera partially once well, if this show works out once a week anyway. Alright, so just like last time, guys, I'm gonna hold it. We go in between all of that hackling. This is going to be a lot harder with the Marabou, though.
Tia inexpensive ring light.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just an inexpensive ring light, yep. This is why I like DNL. He practically reads my mind. Y'all see that? It broke the Marabou. It broke the Marabou. So, take your hackle pliers, discard, and we're not using them to help tie. What we're doing is we're using it to help hold in place for us. And you're just going to kind of rough separate. Marabou is very fibery. You're not going to get it perfect. But like I said earlier, this will help give that undulating, I'm a minnow look in the water. More specifically, it'll help it look like a wounded one. While the hackling fibers that you see in there is going to help the Marabou stay standing up. And we made it back to the front. Boom. Now what we got to do, clean her up. I literally just did this. Alright, why are you being like this? Oh, I have way too much gap on here, first of all. Alright, so if you're gonna be like me, and hand whip knots like that, get this. Remember this from earlier?
Stormcrow Gaming says. Because you're on TV. Effectively.
Inexpensive because I'm on TV effective. Oh yeah. Alright. So it has a hole in it. And that fits over the eyelet of most hooks. So by the way, remember that if you're going to run your whip, make sure you run it both ways. Boom. Now, apparently I accidentally cut the thread inside the bobbin, but that's okay, because I'm just going to do this number now. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim the excess marabou to the length of the hackle. And this is all extra, by the way. You don't need the marabou on the woolly bugger. The hackling is the swimming motion on there. But if you want to dress it up, that's how you do it right there. Now, if you wanted to use this guy a lot, what I would tell you is get some UV resin and resin your dot. I don't have any UV resin. I ordered some. It's not here yet. But, you know, obviously you're going to take time to make flies. You're going to want to use them. So, you know, if you want the, if you want that vibe, and you want its longevity, you get a little UV guy. And right here at the head. No, that's not showing very well, is it? Hold on one second. Ah, that shows up worse, huh? Okay, that was not a good idea. Anyway, so you got your head right here. Okay, anyway. So, you know, you UV dot your head right there. Yeah, that's because that's where your hackle's ending. That's where your marabou is ending. And your thread. So you can just get, hold your finger over the eyelet. Drop your UV resin. And she's good. And there you go, guys. Woolly bugger, a little flashaboo tail. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, huh? Now, is it going to always be pretty like you can buy them from the store? No. But that's okay. You know why? Because it'll still catch a buttload of fish, that's why. So I'm just going to clean up a couple of wild strands here because it's going to sit right here. So just clean up a couple of wild strands. And ladies and gentlemen, there you go. In case y'all are wondering what I mean by that, I put them on my... So, you know, we talked about fly tying. Let's talk about when you would use them, right? Trying to clean up this mess here a little bit. It's gonna be marabou floating around. So, let's talk about them now. I'll even take it out so y'all know exactly which one I'm talking about, and I'll put it back in the vise for you. Okay. So, when would you use a rabbit's hair, and when would you use a woolly bugger? Well, again, May is the... Oh, for us, and Lizzie, right? May is going to be that... Oh, it's post-spawn for them. You know, they're either tired guarding eggs, or, you know, they've hatched already for some of the early ones. And they're looking for quick meals, right? Well, what is Louisiana notorious for, by the way? Heat and humidity. Heat and humidity. So these guys are, they're only going to be on the near the surface in the morning, okay? And that's when you want stuff like this guy. Yeah, okay, there's not much lighting that's going to do his help. I'm putting a ring camera on the list, Mr. Accountant. Truthfully, I don't even need the magnifying glass. I can get close to it and tie. I just kind of had it here because it has a light on it. Which, again, is not doing too well. So this is the type, this is going to be the style that you really kind of want in the morning, right? The bugs are coming out. They're trying to hatch. They're trying to get out of the water. But more importantly, the bluegill. Trying to see something. Oh yeah, there is just a whole stripe of green right there, huh? There you go. Looks much better. Why is my vice being a butt? Stop being a butt, vice. Thank you. So this is something you'd use early in the morning. The panfish, especially bluegill, they're going to be closer to the surface. They're going to be held a little tight to structure. And this guy, even though it'll sink slowly, right? So you don't have to worry a whole lot on, oh, is this going to be sinking too quickly for them? No, not at all. But the thing about emergers, if you're fishing anything that looks like a bug, whether you're fly fishing or regular fishing, right? You don't want that jerkiness. You know, you want little bumps. Just doot doot. Like, I'm showing you kind of how you would hold a fly rod. You would take your thread, doot doot, and you just kind of bump it around. If you're using like a ultralight or something like that, then you obviously know you just kind of twitch your wrist a little bit, doot 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 doot, just like that, and it gives it that whoop 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 action in the water, like it's a bug trying to get to the top. And like I said, that's how you'd fish this little guy. It's meant to look like a little bug about to become an adult. And again, we have mayflies, so you know, make sure the tail had a nice little split in there. Not that they can count the tail threads or anything like that, but yeah. Now, how do you fish this guy? Small, steady pulls. So as you pull it through the water, that marabou is going to undulate, right? And what it's going to look like is a small, very aggravated minnow. And all of that right here, all of this right here, and let's see if I can pull it back enough for the camera to show the hackling. All of that right there, that hackling in here, all of that, that's going to keep the fibers from laying flat down. So as you do your small, steady strips, or again, an ultralight, that's where it's going to get that action. And when it stops, the hackling hairs will help push it back forward. So you'll be doing like this the whole time. It actually looks like it's trying to swim. Now, I know that a lot of people, especially up north, just hackle it with marabou. But, you know, that's a lot of small river and brooks and stuff like that. Yeah, we're a swamp down here. Things move erratically and quickly. They don't move like this. Right? So, like I said, that hackling in there will help push it back up to the front for it. And it'll make enough noise in the water that especially bluegill will hear this guy just fine. This is also a favorite of largemouth bass, by the way. Although if you wanted to go bass fishing with it, I would use a streaming hook, an X2 or X4. But, you know, this is just a little bluegill guy, so it's cute, and that's what it is. And as you can see here from when the light reflects on it, there's your flashy boo. I know it's kind of like quick when it happens, but you see how the light hits the flashy boo? And it's just like, oh, look, right there. That's that medium depthness right there. That's going to help them see it. Now, keep in mind, anytime you use a streamer, while it's big or small, every type of predator fish is going to see this and be like, ooh, snack. Down here, you know, the gar are going to be coming out soon. And it does not matter how you copper wrap that body. They will tear it to pieces. So if you're one of those who are like, oh, I made this and I don't want it to get destroyed, make a trophy room because that's all that's going to be left of it. Now, is this like a professional how you would find the woolly bugger in a store? No, but it doesn't need to be. It's beautiful as is. See, look at that. Now, one of the things I actually want to take some time to talk about is the, especially when it comes to fly fishing. A lot of people get nervous when they hear fly fishing because they don't actually hear fly fishing. What they hear is expensive. And I don't blame them to a certain extent. But I would like to give some tips on how to tie these without, breaking any kind of bank or anything like that. Sorry. I made notes. I'm trying to read my notes. I should have read them before. Again. I'm working on. I'm not usually in the camera. It's usually just a little squirrel right there. But, is that more marabou? More marabou on me. Alright. So, for the hair, hares, the hare-eared, right? We didn't have any, dubbing. So what do? We took rabbit's tuft.
Yes, LOL.
Oh, Buns brought me a keychain. Love you. What? No, I'm good, sweetheart. Thank you.
Alright, let's see. Someone's picking me. And start this.
I got you.
I'll let you know.
It's all good. I got you. All right, so the rabbit's ear. Sorry, Buns needed my attention.
Rabbit's ear? The rabbit's ear.
I tell you what, sweetie. Why don't you pull up a chair and learn with everybody else?
I want to.
All right then. All right, so you don't have the rabbit's mask and all of that, or you don't have dubbing specifically. We didn't have dubbing today either. So what did we do? We just used some rabbit stuff. Dubbing is a loose fibrous material that acts where you can rub it as a noodle and it fizzes out. Yep, it's here. I got some green, some red. Sorry. Y'all gonna see why I didn't use it earlier because it's bright red. This.
Oh, shiny.
Yeah. So what you do is you loop it over and you make a noodle and you spin it and you wrap it around. But all I had was the red, so I didn't have any of the proper one that I'm waiting on to arrive. It said it was going to arrive this morning, but it didn't.
Oh.
Anyway.
Did we check the mailbox?
So no, I already checked the tracking. It just arrived to the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we use, we use the chartreuse, but we used rabbit's tuft. And you just kind of brush it out like you would dubbing. You don't have any of this either? Well, let me tell you the ultimate cheapo way to do it. A feather duster. Believe it or not. It's artificial, obviously. And you can brush it all up there on the hook. And it won't go anywhere. It's good to go. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Another thing, you don't need to have gold thread. Yes, traditionally, woolly bugger and the rabbit's ear nymph will, they use gold wire. Use some copper. Don't be afraid to get copper wire. I promise you that the fish is not going to look at it and go, man, look at this cheapskate. That's copper. Ain't no way I'm biting on that. First of all, I don't think they know what the value of commercial goods are. Secondly, it's really there just to help hold the body together when it gets bit. And a little bit of flash with a little bit of weight. Would you use less gold thread for the weight value? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Is that something we're worried about? No. So you don't need to spend the extra money on gold thread. You can get copper thread. How cheaply can you get copper thread? $1 or $2 a spool. I mean, look at that spool. It's like almost, I think this was a 100-meter spool. No, sorry, 50-meter spool. I've had this for 2 years. It still ain't ran out. It's fine. Well, what about the thread? You can buy special fly tying thread. It's 70 denier. Its number's called 70 denier. Or you can buy a sewing kit and get an ass load. That says CBR. This is actually just a regular sewing kit from Walmart. I build fishing poles and put the sticker on there as to not confuse people. You know. And, you know, okay, well, information about fly tying, and it's all over the internet, to be honest with you. Your biggest things are going to be knowing what's going on in your environment. Example, y'all saw us use...
Hi DNL.
Could have just said it, sweetie.
Horror Stream says. Hi kids.
I can.
What's up, Horror Stream? Anyway, so let me pull the woolly bugger back out so I can show y'all exactly what I'm talking about, right? So that we're all on the same page, of course. I pulled out the rabbit's ear at the same time. You know, y'all see we use the extra flashy boo on it. Why? My water's real murky. But maybe you don't need so much flashy boo if your water's clear. Hey, that's fine. You know, you don't need to follow a pattern to a T. We didn't follow a pattern to the T on this guy either. We added extra marabou behind the hackling so it'd have more sway in the water. Well, why would I do that? Well, because our water is loud. The wind whips across. You know, and these guys are what is a silent lure, right? They don't make noise on their own, but you can help it out a little bit, you know, like we said.
Says, hi cats.
You know, says hi. But, you know, as you can see, you know, the hackling helps keep the marabou from folding on itself, right? So it keeps that undulation action going. If you want to, and you know, something you want to practice tying up, you can literally get a whole starter kit for like $40. It'll make like 15, 20 flies. Easy too, you know. And like we said, you know, you're out of something, no big deal. Know why it's there. Why did our rabbit's ear call for dubbing? Because it needed that fluffy body with the wing case sitting on top, right? Oh, that's kind of blurry, isn't it? You know, it wanted the wing case on top. I need a better camera. Well, okay. Well, what else do we have? Oh, well, we got some chartreuse rabbit tuft, which is, it is actual rabbit tuft. It's just dyed chartreuse. You know? Oh, yeah, you know, you wrap in your pheasant tail right there. You know, wrap your copper body.
Cats Gaming says, question, do you use glue at all?
I think my wife's doing this on purpose. Alright, yes, there is a glue that you can use in fly fishing. It's UV resin. It's not glue, it's resin. So, you know, you put some where your thread locks and you hold up a UV. And depending on how, you know, the grade of resin is how long it's going to take to dry and harden up. Do I use resin? No. Because most of the fish out here are, you know, toothy. And it's going to tear it apart anyway. If I ever sold them, would I put resin on them? Yes, but I don't sell them, so. You know, there's that. So what other nymphs and stuff would you use? Well, oh, I dropped one. As you see, they're kind of tiny.
Stormcrow Gaming says, don't sell them yet.
I don't think there's enough people who would fly fish in Louisiana to warrant me doing that. You know, I would use this guy. This is an emerger. You know, of course, I'm trying to be on camera, so my vice wants to act up, right? Y'all see this? Y'all see what I gotta deal with here? All right. Anyway, you know, I would use an emerger like this. Huh?
Why are you making it
Oh. You know, I would use, like I said, something like this. Let's say these two weren't doing well. The reason is you would drop this guy and let it...
Oh yeah. Only LA think small and you wear a squirrel suit IRL.
Only Louisiana. Think small and you wear a squirrel suit. I do not wear a squirrel suit. He's lying to you. I don't wear a squirrel suit. Although if I end up losing this bet, I'll have to wear one live. But only for one show, though. Only for one. Sorry, I'm fixing the device.
Programming says. To follow yet. Swampy needs 12 more follows in 12 days to reach his goal of 500 by or on his anniversary. Help him hit 500 by the deadline.
Thank you for the advertisement, DNL.
Says. Everyone follow him so he can and see what happened.
Alright. So, why did we choose May for our little southern bluegill, our little southern fly fishing? Well, right now it's post-spawn, right? So, you know, post-spawn, the bluegill are either leaving their little nests or they're still hanging around if they spawned late, right? And so that begs the question, why did you choose the woolly bugger? It seems a little bit big for most bluegill. Well, it is, but, you know, if the bluegill are chilling in the area, so are the bass. And, you know, those are the big boys that people like to catch. But that is... I'm going to have to pick more flies to have, to prepare up for the tie next time. I'm going to buy a little bit faster than I thought. But, next Sunday, we're gonna be playing with this. We're gonna make a couple of articulated streamers for the bigger boys. Next month, we're going to talk about fly fishing and bass, what to look for, and all of that. Just kind of give you a heads up on that one. If this show is liked, I don't know. But Funz is doing something. I don't know what she's doing. Anyway, if this show is liked, you know, it'll become a thing, I guess. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. But I tell you what I do know is that I'm going to get ready for lunch. I want to thank all of you for coming by. And if you liked the show, go ahead. Please let me know, because I'm trying to decide whether or not, you know, this would be worth doing on Sundays. So, y'all all have a wonderful Sunday. And if y'all go catch some fish, man. As I'm getting ready to here in a little bit. Hopefully next month I'll actually have enough time off to be able to go fishing. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll see all of you later. Y'all have fun. Tie some flies, do some fishing, guys. That's the wrong button. I hit the wrong button and I apologize.
Well, the sun's setting low and the work's all done. Had a good day, had a real good run. The fields are resting, the fire burns bright, but we'll be back again come morning light. So take it easy, rest your head. Ain't no worries, nothing left unsaid. just to see you soon, underneath that same old harvest moon. So take it easy, rest your head. Ain't no worries, nothing left unsaid. Acorn Valley's always waiting, always growing wide. So come on back, we'll be here with the tide. Valley below, another day's coming, another crop to sow. Till next time, friend, keep your boots on the ground. Acorn Valley's home whenever you're around. So take it easy, rest your head. Ain't no worries, nothing left unsaid. We'll be here with the tide.